I think kids who grow up on farms, they are the resilient kids, they are the hardworking kids. They're the ones who are down to earth, they're reliable, they're able to empathise with people, but they just have a sense of the real world about them. They understand where milk comes from. They know how hard it is to get the bread on the table, that it hasn't just come from the supermarket.
What our kids get to experience and the work ethic that you can teach them out there, that's an opportunity in itself that a lot of people would pay a lot of money for in the city.
Country kids and rural kids are sometimes a lot more experienced, potentially a lot more mature, but sometimes these kids don't have the social skills, the team skills. There's some real challenges for them, but there are some massive benefits for them as well.
So I think the future of agriculture is really dependent on keeping our schools going, making sure that we can get our kids educated without having to move them off to boarding, which obviously is only a possibility as you move into high school, but making sure they can get on a bus every day and go and have an education. They're still coming home to you at night. I think that's huge.
That whole getting your head around boarding school is quite a foreign concept, and so it seems very tough to be sending them away when they're 11. But if you grew up in rural Queensland, it's not as foreign. You either went away to school or you knew someone who did.
I guess we are very lucky that Bendigo is a large regional town, so we do have access to great schools. We could be in the middle of nowhere and there'd be no option but to get on a bus and go to a school where there's 10 kids.
I was raised in a small community. There were 55 children at the primary school I went to, and when I went to high school, yes, you had reduced selection for subjects and you had to compromise there, but we did. I feel really blessed by the schools we have locally. The quality of the teachers we have is astounding, and how much they care for the children and the families. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and I think in small regional communities that is actually how it happens. Everybody does look out for each other's children. I wouldn't want to raise my children anywhere else.
I believe that it is so important to get further tertiary education. I think particularly in ag, it's important to go out there and see what other people are doing. You need to broaden your horizons.
We crave further education. Any opportunity that comes up that addresses an area that we acknowledge we could probably see some improvement in, we seek it out. Not so much university education, but short courses or webinars. There's so many opportunities really to upskill. Keep folding the edges in and addressing the weak points.
I'm just finishing off a grad cert in wound care through Monash University, all online. There's, nothing stopping you for continuing your studies when you live out west.
Growing up on a farm, it doesn't limit your career options. It also provides you wider opportunities within the ag sector itself. So banking myself, I come through the grad program, and coming from a farm, it wasn't a prerequisite, but it's definitely an advantage. It's not just about business. You actually understand where they're coming from.
Empathy too?
Empathy, and I think that the clients would actually see that as genuine.
There's so many opportunities for girls in ag, but you've got to go out there and you've got to have a real crack.